When we're on the golf course, you have these very precise targets, not just direction, but distance-wise as well. But we never practice it. And I'm telling you, one of the reasons why Tiger Woods was so good is because he always ended up pin high, or most of the time ended up pin high. There's much less trouble around the greens. It's just more consistent. But it isn't about trying to hit the shots perfectly the same every time. It's being able to have the distance of shot and adapt your swing to it. Because if you're in between clubs, let's say, so you laser it out and you're in between clubs, and I've picked out my 7-iron, but I know that a 7-iron, a full 7-iron, is going to go a little bit too far to where I want it to go. So I'm like, okay, I want this to go, I don't know, 165 yards, let's say. So I grip down it, I get a little bit, I feel like I'm going to hit it a little bit shorter, and I'm going to hit kind of a little bit of a punch, but it's a little bit tentative, okay? There's not enough commitment to it. So when people say to me, I don't hit it as well on the range at all, it's because you're not practicing the shots that you face out on the golf course. And I don't just mean different lies, I mean the precision that you're trying to accomplish out on the golf course. Because I wager that when you go and practice, you're just trying to work on your swing and get that sort of sweet, perfect strike. And you're not really caring about, okay, how much distance it's really getting. You're just trying to get the swing and the flow right. I wouldn't pay attention to the distance that traveled. There's a big difference between sort of clubbing down, swinging smooth, keeping everything under relative control, than steering. Being a bit tentative and steering is what happens when you don't trust the club that you're hitting or the yardage that you're hitting. And I'm telling you, for 90% of you, it's because you're not practicing hitting specific distances. You're so focused on contact or swing or just hitting it as far as you can. Whether it's your 7-iron, whether it's your wedge, whether it's your driver. It's like, I'm just trying to hit it good and as far as I can. But that on the golf course doesn't work. So if you find that you're missing a lot of greens, short, sideways, you're like, my swing, my strikes just are never as good than when they're on the range because I'm sort of trying to manipulate and chop them a bit. It's because you haven't practiced it. So I want you to practice this. What I want you to do, you can either use pieces of paper and write a ton of numbers on it, or you can just use a number generator. On Google, you can get apps. I've just done minimum 40, maximum 160, and I'm going to click generate. 134. So I need to hit a shot 134 yards. I have the benefit of having the full swing kit that's going to give me those yardages. Now, there are other sort of launch monitors you can use, but your range might have some decent distances, or at least markers. So it might be 140 or 150. You're just trying to get a little bit short of it. Even if you don't have the precise sort of ability to record, you still want to have some kind of measure. And even just the task itself is bridging the gap from playing out on the golf course to being on the range. So I'm going to try and hit a shot 134 yards. I'm still going to pick a target, but this is more like real golf. And I can switch up the clubs that I'm going to hit, but a nice, very soft pitching wedge, 134 yards. I've got my target, and I'm going to see how close I can get to that. Let's see, a little bit short maybe. What did that come out to? 130 yards. Not too bad. So I'm going to change it to 180. Now I'm going to generate again. It's going to go to 118. So what do I want to hit for 118? For me, that's either my 56 or my 50. If I was just trying to hit a low one, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab my 50. So I'm treating this as much as real golf as I can. I'm going to take some practice swings, but with 115 yards in my mind. That's what I'm thinking about. Not just technique, it's about sending this stupid ball specifically that way. What feel do I need? What pace do I need to get 115 yards? I would say that's potentially pretty close, but a little bit short, and that came out to 100 yards. So, room for improvement there. Let's try one more. So now we have 141, okay? For me, that's a bigger pitching wedge. So 140 yards, that's kind of just a decent shot. Let's see how close I can get to that. Decent strike, went straight, a little bit too far, 155 yards there. But you start to get the idea. This is how to practice. This is how to bridge the gap from being on the course and the range to make it better. So your golf becomes better. And of course we can go a little bit longer. So yeah, we've got 173 yards. I've got a 7-iron. I could hit 8-iron, but I'm just going to hit a smooth 7. Okay, again, picking my target, got that in my mind. What's a full 7 for me? Well, it can go up to, 200 yards. But I'm trying to control this, which is probably more what I would do if it was into wind or something like that. So that's how I'm going to try and replicate it. I've got my target, 173 yards. That's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to get my pace of swing, the delivery, to match that. My instincts can take over. It's not about creating a perfect biomechanical movement to strike it as pure as I can. It's just to get the stupid ball 173 yards. Really doesn't matter how I do it. So I am actually just going to grip down a little bit here. I'm going to move the ball back a little bit because this is going to be kind of a 3/4 type of swing, I hope, but that's the point. We're going to test it and see. Pretty decent. Going to be interesting to see what that comes out to, and that is 169 yards. You can see here, 169 yards, okay? So not my best, but that's not bad at all, is it? What, 4 yards off? I'll take it. But it creates a different dimension, a different thought process, a different way of playing golf, which is actually golf, not trying to swing your way around. Even if you don't have a full swing kit or any other launch monitor, you can still practice this. Randomize and just be as close to it as you can. And I promise you, you're going to notice the difference where it counts the most. Now, if you do want a simple swing structure that you can apply to this, check out this lesson because it's going to clear up so many things for you and you will be swinging better and easier. See you next time.